Cool.
I got some music on it too for you guys.
Cool.
I don't know if it's any good. It's free. It's free music.
Kind of sounds
Isn't
like
that
Toto
funny?
a little bit. Nope, never mind.
Oh, good. And I just got the YouTube notification, so that's good.
Good.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. That's good.
Sydney and I found a workaround last night to get it connected.
Yeah, that worked out pretty good.
Is it on Facebook popped up too?
Sure should be.
Yep. Well, actually, it doesn't say PNS is live, though. It says detailing success in Rennie.
Well, the PNS one should be too, though. You're just not seeing it yet.
Okay. There we go. We're good. Yep.
Almost 20 people on already with you.
Nice. Everyone's up early drinking coffee with us.
Hold on, I have my hot chocolate, but I don't have any bead maker with me. I need to grab some bead maker.
I didn't bring mine inside either.
I got it.
I'm just in charge of the coffee.
I don't have anything. I don't have my morning Dr. Pepper or nothing.
Oh my goodness.
You got somebody on from Puerto Rico already.
Nice. What time is it in Puerto Rico? Are they ahead of us on time or behind?
Oh geez, I don't know.
Hopefully they're ahead of us, because otherwise it's really early there.
I'm gonna have to put a table in here if I'm gonna do these in the garage.
You don't want your computer on the hood of the car?
Actually, it's sitting on my tablet or my iPad, sitting on a trash can upside down right now.
There you go.
I thought you were going to say it is actually on the hood of my wife's car.
No, I went to the gym, so I told her, leave your car outside and come in through the front door.
Funny.
If I had time, I'd wash your car. I got to do that tonight.
My car's so dirty. I drove through snow and hail and sleet and everything going to Utah, and then yesterday driving home, it was 70 degrees and I hit like 5,000 bugs. So it's like
perfect.
My car. It's a I know, but it's a crazy kind of mess on the car right now when you've got snow, dirt, and bugs at the same time. It's pretty crazy. Not sure who's going to wash it.
I've been kind of waiting to clean my truck. I need to take it down. I'm going to have the wheels powder coated black.
Nice.
And I just got to get it down to my powder coater. It's like down near the beach.
Yeah.
And I got new tires for it I need to put on. So kind of want to do it all when I have some time.
Yeah.
Whenever that is.
Nice.
Look at that. It's 9:30 in Puerto Rico.
Okay, cool.
And Jessica Rook has passed on from coffee. She's already having Coca-Cola this morning.
Right on. That's a girl.
She's in Michigan.
Coffee and Coca-Cola. That's like the two best things in the world. It's what keeps me alive.
So Kyle, what are you going to powder coat?
I'm going to have my factory wheels powder coated black.
On what car?
On my truck.
Okay.
I wanted to match my trailer since I have a white trailer with black rims.
I want
my truck to be black rims.
Nice.
But I really don't like the aftermarket wheels out there.
Yeah.
I don't want, little fake rivets. I actually like my rims. I just don't like the color.
Yeah, and that's how I was. And man, I love my wheels so much now that I had them powder coated.
Yeah, yours are
so nice.
That's kind of like how I got the idea, and I may even leave my center caps chrome. It'll just look like a police truck or something. I don't know. I'll see how it looks. If I don't like it, then I'll paint them.
That's funny.
I was looking on OfferUp for other factory wheels that were black, but they're all satin.
Well, here you go, guys.
Good morning, everybody.
24 people. Good morning. Well,
bright and
Sydney and
early
I
on a
are
Monday morning.
happy to have you on here. You got your
My
coffee.
coffee.
I got my hot chocolate. I had to struggle to find it this morning.
That's funny.
It was in like our food storage stuff. I was like, we're out of
Yeah.
it. Where's that?
Oh gosh, how funny.
So Sydney and I have decided that we want to make this a regular thing and be on here more often and answer questions and just give input and value to everyone that follows PNS. So we're going to make Bead Maker and Coffee. We're going to try and do it Monday mornings, a couple times a month. And so we hope you guys have lots of questions. Today we have a really good show plan for you. We've kind of gone over some stuff. I think we're gonna announce something, aren't we, Sydney?
Yeah.
A little bit later.
Yep.
We're gonna go a little. What do they call us, Sydney?
Well, they call us the kids, which me at my age, I'm going to take that as a compliment. But they call us the kids, I think, because we tend to go a little bit off script, if you will.
Yeah, a little bit.
They call you guys the kids, you know. Sydney, I think I'm only 1 or 2 years older than you, and I'm offended that I'm not part of that group.
I don't know how that all worked out, but yeah, we do have the nickname of the kids. Maybe it's because we team up against everyone.
Yeah, probably.
We're always pushing and we're always listening to the feedback from everyone on social media, since Sydney and I do get involved a lot in the Instagram and Facebook. And we're listening to your feedback, and we have some really cool, something really cool to share with you later. Yeah. But we're going to start with Sydney's going to tell us about a detail from last week. We're going to try and share a detail that we did and maybe a problem or success that we had. So I'm going to let Sydney share hers, and then I'll share mine and what our solutions were for these problems.
Yeah. So like you guys know, both Kyle and I still run our businesses every day. And so we are out there in the field working. And so we run into real life problems every single day. One that I had last week that I thought was worth mentioning is, and I happened to be doing a ceramic coating, and it was supposed to be inspiration. I was working on a 2016 Jeep Wrangler, and it was that metallic gray pearl. And it had been through a car wash a million times. It had a lot of just branch scratches, a lot of, you know how the fenders get those holes in them from, well, here it's from the ice melt. The paint just isn't real stout on those. It's, you know, pretty easy to damage. And so there was a lot of wear and tear on this Jeep. And so I did all the prep, spent the whole day doing the prep, and it turned out amazing. But, you know, there was still some visible flaws. And by that, I mean the holes in the paint and things like that. And so I decided to I switched gears and I decided to put Legend on it. And I was absolutely floored on how the Legend made the paint look. And it almost helped not hide the flaws, but it made the rest of it look so amazing that it drew your eye away from those areas. The depth was absolutely insane. And I had used Legend many times before, but I think what I really felt was that if you have an older vehicle that somebody has chosen to ceramic coat because they're trying to preserve what's there, Legend is a really great option. You know, I know that we've always focused on it being a higher end coating and, you know, maybe like for fancier cars and stuff, but to give new life back to an older vehicle that somebody's just trying to protect, what an amazing option. And I was really, really excited about that. So if you guys want to see the pictures of the Jeep, there's a video on my Instagram, which my handle is down there at the bottom, but it just turned out absolutely amazing. I was shocked at how amazing the Jeep looked when I was done. So that was really cool.
Like more depth, more gloss, or just
depth,
like
gloss,
moisturized it.
Depth, gloss. It you know, Legend goes on so thick, and it just leaves like a true like you can see a thick coating on the paint. So, and then you can just look so deep down into the paint, and it just helped. I mean, I would almost say it was like a facelift for it, if that even makes sense. I mean, it just made it look totally different and so amazing. And I mean, even the customer was just absolutely shocked. It was not at all what she was expecting it to turn out like. And so I was so thrilled with being able to kind of put that many years back onto this Jeep, even though it was only 5 years old. I mean, it had lived a Jeep life. So I'm sure anybody that's worked on a Jeep Wrangler knows what that means. And so that was just so cool. It was so cool.
That's awesome. I love ceramic coating Jeeps just because I love seeing how tough the coating can be. So I'm excited for, we've had Legend on a few vehicles, but I'm excited to see how some of these vehicles last with Legend now.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, or how do I say, not an easy install with Legend, but it's not hard at all.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I would say the install is, it's not difficult when compared to other coatings of that magnitude. It's definitely one of the easiest in its class of those long-term coatings. Really forgiving. I have never had a problem with high spots or anything like that. Very forgiving and just, really fun to work with. It's a fun coating to apply, and it's easy to see, which makes the removal easy, right? If you can see the coating and where it needs to be removed, that's half the battle right there. So that was awesome. Kyle, in preparation, did you polish Jeep? Absolutely. I did. Some areas got a 2-step, other areas just a 1-step. A lot of it was surface scratches from the car wash, and then other was damage that was not going to come out with any compounding or polishing. So I did polish the Jeep, and that color is a very nice paint color to work with. And so, yes, absolutely, I did polish it, and that helped quite a bit from, the car wash scratches. When I was done with Legend, I couldn't see any of the car wash marring, which was awesome.
Nice. Was it that straight gray, or was it?
No, it's kind of the metallic.
Okay.
I can't remember what the color is
called, but
gray,
that navy gray is a pain.
Yeah, no, this was the dark,
okay.
Sparkly gray. So it's a nice color to work with.
So last couple weeks, I've done a lot of work on some airplanes.
Yeah.
And I've been using Enviroclean a ton on these airplanes for everything from degreasing to getting streaks off of the paint just under the windows. A lot of dirt accumulates there. And the only thing that was taking it off safely was, diluted Enviroclean. And I had it in the van. I was using a ton of it. I literally was taking a 5-gallon with me everywhere, even though that was excessive. But then I had to wash an RV. And what I love about Enviroclean is if I'm washing an RV, I can pre-treat like the dirt streaks that come down from the roof, the oxidation. And it literally just like liquefies that dirt. So I'll go around and pre-treat after I've done my rinse with Enviroclean. And it made life so much easier getting these streaks off. Most streaks like this, I would have probably had to pull out like Playmaker and a finishing pad and just give it a light buzz. They weren't coming off, but Enviroclean did the trick for me. So last week's detail for me was Enviroclean killed it. And I also used it on the roof. Awesome. I used it on the bottom of the back where it was super, when you're going down the road in an RV, you get that swirl effect behind it.
Yep.
There was a ton of just caked on debris, especially from the exhaust because it's a diesel pusher.
Yeah.
So if you haven't tried Enviroclean on something like that, definitely takes black streaks or dirt streaks off from the gutters of the RV.
Yeah. Man, I love Enviroclean. Such a great product.
So versatile.
Yeah.
The cool thing about it is Sydney and I actually use this stuff all the time. So we're not, playing here. We know the products that we're talking about. We've actually used a lot. So it looks like we have another question from Jessica, Really pleased to use dynamic.
Hey guys, I got one from Mark up real quick.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So does Legend seem to have a lot more micron measurable distance more than Inspiration? Does he mean, is it?
I probably think that might be related to the solid count in there. Maybe you can go at it from that angle.
Yes. Legend has more active ingredient in it. It is going to have more solids in it.
Yes, for sure. And it does leave behind a lot more coating than Inspiration, which you can visibly see and feel. And so what from what I understand is happening is you apply the coating, and then the sweating is kind of almost what the paint is shedding, what it's not bonding with the paint. And so you remove that, but it's leaving behind quite a bit more. And I know we're talking on like, a microscopic level, but it leaves behind a lot more coating, and you can see and feel that once you've removed the coating that it doesn't keep. And so I don't know what those measurements would be, but my answer would be yes, it definitely, leaves behind a lot more, and it's much thicker what is remaining on the paint.
Then our question from Puerto Rico, I believe you're asking about the dilution of Enviroclean, since I just talked about that. So what I would say, Enviroclean, I dilute it to the desired need. When I was working on heavy greasy areas on this aircraft, I was using it at like 5-to-1. When I was doing the side of the RV, it was like 20-to-1. So I'm going to dilute it more for more sensitive areas, just like interiors. That's kind of my interior mix, is that 20-to-1. It's kind of very light orange, not so dark is how I would look at it. And I use my Chemtrol. I'm actually going to have to make some changes to it because I want to have 2 different dilutions for the same product. So I'm going to have to put 2 hoses in one product and change the tips so I can do that. But yeah, that's what I would do, is go light if you're not sure, and if it doesn't, then boost it a little bit more.
Yeah. So how do you spell this wash that you used on the plane in the RV? I think he's talking about Enviroclean.
Yes. Enviroclean. Hold on, let me grab the bottle. I have it.
So it's ENVIRO clean. And so the only thing I can't remember if it's one word or 2, but I think it's 2 words. So it's Enviroclean. Yeah.
But I love the label. These printed labels are so nice. So
yeah.
This is part of the Chemtrol line.
Yeah. So Kyle, this is a product that has been around for several years. It was just recently moved into the Chemtrol line. And so we're kind of, putting it back out there. Kyle and I started using it, about 1.5 years ago, and just absolutely love it. And so it got moved into the Chemtrol line. You can obviously use it without a Chemtrol. You just do the dilution yourself. But it's just so great because it is so highly dilutable. You can make bottles for 1 million different uses, from exterior to interior. So it's really awesome.
Check it out. So in the Chemtrol, there's a little breakdown right here that tells you which tip you would put in. But it also helps with your dilution. So it even says for heavy cleaning is 4-to-1, standard cleaning would be 10-to-1, light is 20-to-1.
Yeah. Awesome product.
All right. Who's next? Let's keep answering. These are cool. Thanks, Kyle.
So here's
going to be fun.
From, Here's a good one from Jessica. I'll jump in and read this one to you guys. It's a little long. We are currently pleased with Dynamic, Pearl, Shine All, etc. So pretty much a double black line. And we use Enviroclean daily. But what would be the difference in benefits between Tempest, Odyssey, Body Wash, etc. from the Chemtrol line? Essentially, is there a reason to switch, I guess?
So you're not necessarily going to switch, because there's a lot of products that they do different things, and you're going to use them in different cases. So one doesn't necessarily replace the other. They kind of just complement each other. In my shop, I use the entire double black line, and I use the entire Chemtrol line, and love them both. So I'll take the Pearl versus body wash. So here's the instances that I use Pearl and versus body wash. So Pearl is going to be a very great, just all-purpose body wash for the car. So it's great in a bucket wash. It's great as a rinseless. It's great, really, really great in a foamer. And so just for kind of, I use this more for maintenance washes, and I use it always on coated cars. Pearl is a fantastic car soap for coated cars. Then body wash, which is in the Chemtrol line, is it's got much more cleaning and stripping ability, I will say. So I always choose body wash prior to a coating. It helps strip everything, everything off the car. And when I say it strips old waxes and things, that doesn't mean that if you use it on a car that is maintained, you're going to strip the waxes. But obviously, if you have a car coming in for a coating, it's probably got very old and very minor amounts left. And so it helps get all the road grime off, oils, greases, things like that. And so body wash is just a little bit more aggressive. It also is really great in the foamer, really great for bucket wash. So I use them in two totally different instances and love them both.
All right, so I'll talk about Tempest and Enviroclean because I do love those products a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I would not use Tempest on the painted areas that like I was doing airplanes, or for that reason. It's an aggressive degreaser. I mean, I would use Tempest on rims, tires if you want, wheel wells, engines, but I don't know what Tempest would have done to this very thick aircraft paint or even this RV. It works hotter, it's faster. And so even though they're in the same line, Tempest, and it works great on floor mats and rubber. I know that. So I'm going to stick with that. But it kind of serves another purpose where I would say Tempest would be kind of like Hot Shot. They would cross each other. So I'm going to stick with Enviroclean in the lighter cleaning, and Tempest is heavier cleaning. Now let's talk about, what was the other one there? She was asking.
So it's Dynamic, Shine All, and Odyssey. So
okay.
So Shine All, I use that on quick car washes. So kind of the in-out, just washing, right? Then I would choose Dynamic for if I'm doing a detail or a coating and I'm going to have time to let it sit and naturally absorb. That's where Dynamic really shines. Dynamic's great on fender wells and things like that, engine bays, whereas Shine All, you kind of have to manually spread it in, right? So it's kind of more of a quick in out type deal. So Dynamics, when you have time to let the product do what it's supposed to do and really shine. Odyssey is a little bit similar, but I choose Odyssey. I would say I choose Odyssey most when I'm doing coating jobs, and Odyssey is absolutely a fantastic dressing. So I put it on with an air gun. Love that method. And so when I'm dressing like a big truck or SUV, if I'm wanting to do the entire fender wells, those big tires, knobby tires, things like that, if it has big black plastic bumpers, I'm spraying that on. That's a lot of less wear and tear than, the trigger spray. And it, again, like Dynamic, just sets itself, which is so amazing. And so especially on like faded black plastics and stuff, Odyssey's great. It really makes things super black. So even tires, you get a super, super black result. And it is, you do not dilute Odyssey. So that shine level is what you get. Dynamic, on the other hand, can be diluted all the way up to 1 to 10, but the most standard dilution is 1 to 4. And so that one, you can choose the shine level. And so all great products, I would say that I use Dynamic and Odyssey the most. And Dynamic is also great for, it does a better job than Odyssey. Like whenever you've had really, really faded, inexpensive aftermarket wheels and you have to use dressing to kind of make them black and then you wipe it off, Dynamic is so great for that right there.
Yeah, Dynamic works great on those satin finishes. All it hit the entire rim and tire.
Yep.
Then I take my Master Blaster or my blower, and I will just
Yeah.
blow it in all
Yep.
that and let it soak in.
Mm-hmm.
That emulsion, that hyper concentrate that is dynamic, is so good for that. Works
Yep.
great on plastics, like Sydney said. You could dilute it properly and use it in interiors.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, same with Sydney. I'm using Odyssey now for more of my, I would say, my fleet work, because I'm actually not diluting Odyssey. I'm just spraying it on, wiping it in, and going.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more affordable that way too. And kind of Odyssey for me has kind of taken the place of Shine All. I'm actually trying to finish my Shine All because I have like a whole 5 gallon of it still.
Yep.
And that's what I'm just gonna move into that spot. The reason why is Odyssey gives a great shine, and it's not as thick, but it gives the same or better shine than Shine All. So I was using Shine All for like my fleet stuff, where I could just literally spray the tire and walk away. But like she said, I wouldn't really use Odyssey on like rims or those kind of finishes. It just doesn't
wipe off quite as nice. Yeah.
And it doesn't like give it that moisture that those satin wheels need. That's I don't know. It's more ready to use is what Odyssey is.
Yeah. And
same thing with Shine All. You can dilute it, but man, I've done an RV where I diluted Shine All, sprayed it on the tires, went and did the rest of my touch-ups, came back. Tires look darker, but it's soaked in. It needs that the ingredients in a more concentrated form to not allow the tires to soak it up. And that's what I found.
Yep. And Odyssey smells like fresh cotton. So I really enjoy using Odyssey in my shop. It makes my whole shop smell super good. And then for anybody that doesn't know, Dynamic smells like bananas, and Shine All smells like nothing, right? I think.
Yeah, I don't
there's not really
whatever Shine All is smelling. Actually, I haven't even smelled Odyssey in its
in the new
fragrance yet.
finish. It smells so good.
My test batch that I had.
It smells really good.
Fragrance, so I'll have to crack that open as soon as I get through Shine All.
Yep, I love it. I love it.
I don't want to just jump around and not finish what I have. Man, we had very cool.
So I hope that helps, Jessica. But basically, we both use both lines. One definitely did not replace the other.
Yeah, exactly. We just have different uses for them. Different levels of service require different levels of product. Just like, having coatings. So Chris, who do we have next in here? I saw a question further down about coatings.
Yeah, we got Rick Walling asked just last Friday. He says he had a customer ask the difference between the 3 coatings that PNS offers. So how would you educate a client on the coating line?
Good, better, best.
Yep.
That's how it's become now, where Sol is our good annual coating because its longevity is only a year or annually. That's why I would classify it as good. It's good to maintain the other 2 coatings, but it's not our best. Sydney, you want to talk about inspiration?
Yeah, so inspiration's just going to be the better. So it is kind of the strong workhorse. It's, the classic. It's going to give really strong, great protection. It's going to provide all of those benefits that we love from coatings. And but it probably lasts, roughly 3 years, maybe longer with good maintenance of that product. And then Legend is just going to kick everything up a notch. It's really going to look the best. I mean, like Kyle said, that's just the best way to say it. It's good, better, best. And so best, you're going to get, extra gloss, extra depth, extra, longevity. So it's just kind of inspiration, but better. Inspiration is still a awesome coating. It's probably what I'll still use the majority of the time. Because I think that kind of middle of the road, and it also allows your customers options. Customers love options, right? And so what I think will be interesting, and I have already found this in my shop though, where I say, right, because as the business owner, I go, I bet most people will still choose inspiration, right? But then when we give them all the options, it's amazing how many people still choose the best. So I think that even for me as a learning experience, which I've learned this several times, but it never sinks in, is us as business owners always think, oh, they're only going to choose the bottom two. But most of the time, everybody wants the best. So I love having the multiple offerings for my customers, and they're loving it too. I have not had anybody that said, well, why do you need something else? I mean, so many of my customers now are like, oh, you mean I don't have the best one?
Yeah, they get a little jealous when they don't have the top coating on.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. And I would still be using inspiration on to those who choose a more affordable path, because Legend is a little bit more. I'm going to charge significantly more for Legend, which is great because I'll make more money, increasing my profit per hour. But Inspirations, I'm going to use it on wheels all the time.
Yep, wheels, trim. It's absolutely great it's such a good wheel coating.
So what happened was we just took, Inspiration to the gym during 2020.
Yeah.
And made it work out.
Yeah.
And it got stronger. And we had to call it Legend because it needed something different. So Sydney, I see that we have about 50 people on here.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to show something off.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about this. So there's been a hole in the double black line.
Yeah. Yep, we hear it all the time.
There's, from the enthusiasts and from the pros, they all have wanted something. And maybe it's because PNS, its roots and its foundation is a professional detailing company. This product has only come in a concentrate and not available. So we are going to bring out, and it's available to our distributors. That's why we're announcing it. Many of them have already ordered, and some have already shared that TrueView glass cleaner now comes in a ready-to-use pint.
Look at that bottle, so pretty.
So I'm excited about this.
Me
really,
too.
This is the kids being us.
Yep.
We pushed Dave and Bob to bring this out because we hear everyone wants a pint. I want this in my truck. I want this in my wife's car.
Yep. I want it in my house.
I want to be able to take TrueView with me. And honestly, I mean, I'm not going to use this in my daily detailing. I'm still going to be using the 32-ounce bottle. But I wanted a ready-to-use product.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
This comes pre-diluted 4-to-1. And that's why it says ready to use. On the back, you'll even say RTU. For those of you that don't know what ready to use, the abbreviation is RTU. You'll hear that a lot. And I'm super stoked that we have this. This is the only bottle I have.
Yes.
And Bob actually overnighted us these on Friday because it is that new. Let's talk about all the good stuff PNS is doing right now. It won't sit there.
The bottle looks amazing. Yeah, it looks so awesome.
Yeah. So I'm like super excited about it. And
Rennie says it's pretty.
Help work on it. So
yeah. So nice.
Here, over here.
Yes, it's gorgeous, Rennie. Gorgeous. I love it.
PNS has been working hard, and we've grown a lot lately. They've recently expanded our warehouse. So because we're growing and everyone's loving it, Bill Quinn wants to know the part number. It's going to be D150P for pint. Let me go back to that real quick because I'm excited to talk about PNS and what's happening. But
it's going to be, where's my camera?
There you go. So you can still buy True View glass cleaner in the gallon, in the 5 gallon, and you can buy the spray bottle, and that's in the Chemtrol line. It's going to say Chemtrol.
Yeah.
But as far as the pints go, as a ready to use, that will be here in the double black line now.
Yeah.
For everyone to enjoy. So if you love this, then you're going to love, and you're a pro, you're going to probably buy in larger quantity like professionals do. But you may get this for your customers to give to them or sell to them to maintain their own glass.
Yep.
One reason this kind of brought me to what's going on with P&S is this is on a new bottling line. Because we've expanded, there's a new fill stations for the pints, because pints are getting popular. And we have a new training facility coming. Do you want to talk about that, Sydney?
Yeah, so we moved into the new warehouse. They've been building the new training facility. If for anybody that's been there before, there was an old training facility in one of the buildings behind the main building, and that got kind of taken over by product. And so now in the new facility, they've laid down new floor, they've installed the cabinets. And so a new training center opens in May. I want to say May 11th. If I remember correctly, is the first date of the class. And then that full schedule of trainings resuming in Hayward will come out soon. And Prentice is ready to rock and roll. So we're super excited to have the training center back up and running. And, everybody will be able to stop by and see the new facility, which is going to be awesome.
Yes, I'm super excited for it. It's been a year of just craziness, and we want to get out and see everyone more. And that's why we're doing these, to kind of connect with everyone. Speaking of connecting with people, it looks like we have a question, Chris, from Ryan. Can you read that? I can't see it on the chat.
You got it. It's actually, I can't see the whole thing on screen either. Here, I have to hide it real quick. Okay. So Ryan says, I have a repaint in the shop right now, and it has some of the softest paint I've worked on. Seems to be harder to work on than black GM paint. From just panel prepping afterwards, it's leaving marring almost like sanding streaks. Not using heavy pressure and using brand new towels. Does P&S have any kind of a primer that helps with this?
We have Envy, and Envy is a great polish that is a great prep. And in certain situations, when panel wipes or paint preps mar, you have to get creative as a detailer and figure out if is it the towel that's doing it, or is it the actual prep softening that paint, or the paint probably already has is already way soft. So you may want to try and give it a light polish of the finishing pad with something like Envy, and then wipe it with a different kind of towel and see how that works. And if that works, if you're concerned, I'm not sure if you're going to be coating this. Obviously, if you paint prepped it, you probably are. You're going to be really careful not to mar it during the coating, because coatings have propellant solvents in them that are going to soften the paint too. So you got to be really careful you don't marring it as you're coating it. I don't know what coating you plan on using. If it's Sol, it's probably going to be the most gentle coating, but try that. I've had this situation happen before with black GM paint years ago, and I had to switch to a different coating. Actually, I switched to P&S from another brand. I went to Inspiration because the other one was softening the paint too much. What would you say, Sydney? This is
same. I run into this a lot on black Ford Mustangs. So it's like you get the paint perfect and you go to wipe them off and you just completely mar the paint trying to wipe off. And so one thing for me that helped with the Mustang, and I'm not sure how the paint compares, I just know it's crazy soft, is I would use the compound and polish, but I would do Ego Maker and then deep finish, and I would go right over. I didn't wipe off in between because compounds are a little bit harder to wipe off. So you have to use a little bit more pressure, and that's where things go wrong. And so you could use, if you use ones that are chemically paired, a compound and polish that are chemically paired, you can go right over. And then that should make the wipe off a little bit easier. And then like Kyle said, towel is everything. If the towel is soft, but has enough grab to get that off, the less wiping you have to do, the better. The Envy is a great option. Again, that's has such an easy wipe off that you're having to put forth so little effort on that. One other tip that I have tried that has worked for me is if you're having trouble removing the product, you can use paint gloss to soften it and help with some glide. And so I will spritz just a little bit of paint gloss on, wipe off the product, and then I go back and do paint prep later. That versus trying to use paint prep to kind of get the residual off, I feel like I was getting some marring from that. And so sometimes if I get all the product off with paint gloss and then go back over with a brand new towel and paint prep prior to a coating, then I didn't have that marring issue. So a couple different things to try.
I would also, if you're having a difficult time getting product off, like Sydney said, and I know we're getting into it a little bit different, make sure you cycle the product, your finishing product, till it's almost gone.
Yes.
That'll also help with not marring. When you get a polish to the point where it's almost completely see-through, you can see it on the surface, but it's not quite there. That's when I would wipe to minimize marring. And if you have to, and this is in certain situations, if this is being a pain in the butt, polish it with Envy, wipe it. If it wipes off, coat it. If paint prep is causing a problem, which paint prep works so good, but it's also one of the most gentle paint preps I've ever used. I've actually used some other panel wipes that have actually been pretty aggressive. If that's going to cause a problem, then I would just go to coat it after Envy and not worry about it as much. It's not going to last as long as far as the coating, but don't drive yourself crazy. I hope that answers your question, Ryan. Can you coat right from Dark Supreme? I wouldn't recommend coating from Dark Supreme. I would, in some cases, like I just said, you could coat from Envy because Envy is meant to be coated over after paint prep. But sometimes you got to skip that paint prep if you're having a harder time with the
and Jason, I do use Dark Supreme. It is a great option, but Dark Supreme does contain polymers in it, so you are still going to want to use paint prep following Dark Supreme. But Dark Supreme does come off really easy. So if you're looking for a polish that can kind of help moisturize the paint and remove very easy, Dark Supreme is a really good option. But I definitely do recommend still using paint prep just to clear the surface of oils and leftover product for sure, but prior to coating. Okay, so Travis, TrueView. I have a good one for this that I want you to try. So he says, I have trouble using TrueView compared to other glass cleaners. Better results with using more product on a glass towel than others to wipe and dry the towel. How to use? Okay, so I use TrueView. I spray it on the towel, usually not on the surface. So I use it on the towel. I do notice with any glass cleaner for me is just I find less streaking than other glass cleaners, but I do find that I still have some trouble with like linting and things like that. So with this product, I do try to use very dedicated glass towels. That's really important. Because the glass cleaner is so good, it's going to pull off of that towel whatever maybe was left behind after washing. So you want to use very dedicated towels that only get used for glass and only get washed with themselves. Or I often use new towels. And so because whatever's on the towel is really important because of that cleaning ability of the glass cleaner. It is going to pull off leftover things off your towels. So that's one thing. But here's a tip that I really enjoy, and actually Keith DuPlessis taught me this, is because I used to use the magic erasers, which on dirty windows, that's still a great option. But if you use one of the microfiber applicators, clean one again, and obviously glass only dedicated, and just kind of soak that applicator with the TrueView, box in your window just like you would, clean it with the applicator, then go back with a dry towel. Works awesome. Really, really awesome. So try that.
I always have used multiple towels. I use more of a medical grade towel first, and then scrub the window and then I come back again with more of a diamond type microfiber and use it. Now, TrueView, depending on the dilution, can have different reactions. For winter, it's a little bit stronger at 4-to-1, and summer, it's a little bit lighter at 10-to-1. If you look at the back of the Chemtrol, it has a summer and a winter mix. So you can also manipulate your dilution to suit the issue you're having. It could be colder outside or hotter outside. Who knows? All right. Another question, and then I think we have one other thing we need to talk about because we're getting close to time.
Yeah. So this
polished with one O&R diluted as a clay lube. It's given. Can you use pearl with a wet as a wet polish?
Oh, interesting.
So
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Chris.
Okay, good. I thought I disappeared.
Nope, you're there.
Anyway, you got the question fine, so go for it.
Pearl can be used as a clay lube also. Very, very, very diluted with a clay mitt. I would never use a clay bar with pearl. It's going to dry it out a little bit. I know I've tested it, but it works great that way. But I've never polished with as a wet polish. No, I've tried that.
Yeah, I haven't either. So I use paint gloss as my clay lube, but pearl works great too, like Kyle said, when using a clay mitt. I've not done a wet polish, but you can definitely use pearl as a clay lube, yes. And one thing I do quite often is I'll wash the car like normal, right? And while it's still wet, I just hit it with a clay towel, clay mitt, and that's a perfect option. You can definitely do that.
Yeah, I'll jump in. The best I've done is, I've got a product or a pad that's saturated with whatever polish or compound I'm using, and I've given just a little spritz of, say, paint gloss, and then polished with that without adding more product. But I haven't done.
Oh yeah, I do that. Yeah,
straight wet polish before.
As for actual wet polishing, when I'm wet polishing certain surfaces, when I'm trying to keep the heat down, I use paint gloss. I'll just give it a little bit, and that's what I would use as paint gloss for clay lube and for keeping pads cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Just reading all these questions.
Maybe one last.
Let's take one last question.
So I've used a 473 milliliter bottle of Bead Maker. That's very specific. With only 2 washes of my car, which is a Mustang. Am I using too much? The car is very glossy.
Awesome.
Never too much Bead Maker.
What does that equate to in ounces?
Yeah.
Here, I'll try and find out.
Is that like 16 ounces or?
It looks like he's in Perth, Australia. So honestly, I mean, it depends on what you're using Bead Maker for. If you're using it for straight protection,
it's about 16 ounces, by the way.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's not too much. Probably that second round, maybe you didn't need that much. But so the first time you use Bead Maker, we tell you to use a little bit more. You don't need to use, you probably didn't need to use that much, but you're not hurting anything. And so obviously the first time you're wanting a really good coat of it. And so, yes, you would use a little bit heavier coat the first time, but then maintaining it, you don't need to use that much. Just, a couple sprays per panel is going to do just fine.
I've over the years, I've talked to different detailers that use Bead Maker, and some use it very heavy every time. And I honestly think eventually you're going to build up too much Bead Maker there if you're not allowing it to do its job and kind of evaporate over time. So I'd go lighter and use it more as a drying aid.
Drying aid, yeah.
And do that regularly. And then every 3 months, I would go more to that heavier. And make sure that you use a clay bar or clay mitt, whatever you're desired, and give it a regular claying, depending on your environment. It could be quarterly, it could be semi-annually or annually. But making sure you're cleaning out any contaminants, because eventually, if you're just protecting your paint, you're protecting dirt too. So you got to make sure you got to clean it every once in a while.
Yeah.
Sydney, so is that all we have today?
No, I have one more thing. So we talked about TrueView being a hole in the product line, the double black, and we found another one. So it's not necessarily a hole, but it's more of like a hidden gem that not a lot of people know about. And we've mentioned it here today, but I still think some feedback that we get is a lot of people have never tried this product because it's only available in gallons. And there's sometimes some sticker shock, right, on the gallon. And so, but what people don't know is that it's a highly dilutable product. And so it's really, even though the gallon costs a lot, it makes up to 4 to 10 gallons of product. And so we got Bob and Dave to make Dynamic in a ready-to-use pint, which we are so excited about this because this is going to allow detailers, enthusiasts, and your customers to try this product without investing in the gallon. Then once you use it and love it, you can get it in the gallon and then have a lifetime supply if you're an enthusiast. But this is so awesome. I'm so excited about this. This was something that Kyle and I really wanted to make available because Dynamic is such an awesome product, but not a lot of people try it because of it only being in a gallon. And so now we've got a nice pint labeled. This one is just like the TrueView where it says ready to use. On the back, it talks about the dilution. So this is a 1 to 4, which is the most standard dilution. This is great for tires. It's even great for interiors. You can dilute it a little bit more if you don't want as much sheen inside on the interior. But we are super excited about this. So now this is available to, I don't know why I have a hard time finding my camera. So Dynamic Dressing, ready to use RTU. So we're so excited about this. So that's what we have today. Two new products that have been definitely asked for, and so you
asked for it, and so
we did our bagging and got them in pints, and we are so excited for those to be launching this week. And so start looking for those. A lot of the online retailers are getting them in now, and most local distributors. So check with your distributor if they don't have them yet. Ask them to order them for you, and those are ready to go. They have been filled.
I'm super excited about this
too.
Sydney and I talked about this last year, and we brought it up multiple times, and finally we had to threaten Bob and say we need it. Everyone asked for it.
Yes.
And so these are both diluted at 4 to 1. They work great in that dilution, but we figured that dilution would be perfect for you and for the DIY customers as well.
Yes.
To get into using Dynamic because it's a hyper concentrate and it can be diluted so much. Some people are kind of hesitant to pick it up. But that 1 gallon, if you ever go to a gallon, it lasts a long time. So that's why we did it.
And for the storefront program, right? We have, for those of you that don't know, we have a storefront program. And so this is really going to help with that. It really, targets the customer and the enthusiast. And I know for me, my customers will send me a message 3 days after I've detailed their car or coated it. And they'll say, what did you use on my tires and fender wells and mirrors? And then it's always like that, I use Dynamic, but by the way, it's $60 or $70 a gallon. So it's always kind of a hard conversation. So this is so awesome because it is I'm calling this like a try me size. So it's the try me bottle. It's for everybody to try it. And then you obviously have the great bottle to refill, but it's just such a great introduction. And then when you start doing the math on it, once you dilute it, it's very, very affordable. And
tiny size, kind of like a
tiny size,
under Alice in Wonderland, like the cookies.
Yeah, it's like what do they call those at Halloween? Like the fun size.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the fun size Dynamic.
Well, that kind of brings us to the end of our.
Guys, I saw I saw two little questions pop up. One of them I think is pretty important to cover, and they're quick.
Yeah, sure.
The latest one is regarding that new bottle dynamic and so on. Australia, do you guys happen to know how products? This might be a Keith question more than anything, but
I don't, and I see Keith is on, so maybe he can answer. I don't know about.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how it.
Yeah, well,
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, if Keith heard that.
Yeah, so
the other one
on our social media, and I'll see what I can do if Keith doesn't have a chance to answer that.
Yeah.
We'll get you an answer.
Yeah, and I do love that Justin pointed out that the try me size is 473 milliliters. I'm totally going to use that. I love that. That's awesome.
Americans and their ounces.
Yes.
The other really quick was I just showed the answer I sent him. Sorry, wrong one. Can use legend over soul, and I know the answer is no. Will you guys explain what can be used?
Oh yeah, no. You could totally put legend over soul. So you would just want to do a polish, right? You would just want to use a polish, and soul with a good polish is you're going to remove most of it. So no, I think you're fine. I put legend right over inspiration, and it was fine.
So let me explain how I would do it. If you already coated your customer's car and it has legend on it, or sorry, if it has soul on it, I would prep it, and then you could put legend on top of it. I would not intentionally put legend on top of soul, meaning I wouldn't put soul down and then legend.
No.
As a service. But if it's already on there and you're trying to, continually add, value, now we have this coating, someone wants it. Yeah, you can prep it and do it. I would not do intentionally. I would not do legend on top of inspiration. Legend is the foundation coating. So if you're going to do legend and top it with soul. If you're going to do legend, don't top it with inspiration. They don't play well together, but soul plays good with both of them. That's what I'm getting at. So if it's already on the vehicle, you could put legend on top of inspiration, because inspiration already had its time to cure. Say this is already coated vehicle that you did months earlier. It'll work fine, but you got to polish it.
Yeah, always prep polish, always. And then Keith did answer that we have Car Care Co. in Australia, and they're working on bringing in legend now. It should be within a month or so for those who can't see the comments. So that's awesome.
Thanks, Justin. Those were good questions.
Yes.
Well, guys, if you want to call it, I mean, there could be there might be some more. Let's see. Let's see. Let me bring this one up. Is there 32-ounce bottles you can buy for paint prep? I asked my distributor, and he says he doesn't have them.
Yes, paint prep does have a 32-ounce bottle available.
Yeah. I mean, you could just ask him to check his price list and ask him to order them the next time he orders. But yes, there is pre-labeled paint prep quart bottles.
Paint prep comes in a gallon also.
Yep.
Yeah. I know from experience, paint prep is a little harder to find.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's not like we can just ship gallons everywhere. The products that's in it don't ship like that on ground. Yeah. So those types of products like paint prep or some of the acids that we have to go freight, and that's why we encourage everyone to order from their or get from their distributor. Your distributor doesn't have it, and you can be patient. Place an order with them for a case or whatever you want, and most of them should be happy to take your business and order for you. You just may have to be patient until they place their order.
Yeah, and the more that we ask our distributors for things we want, the more they know the demand. So you always have to let them know what you're looking for, so that they know what the demand is for sure. So yeah, just ask them. Let them know that you want it.
PNS on Amazon is great, and through a lot of online distributors is great. But on our website, we have a distributor finder, a map. And if you go on there, support your local distributors if you have them, and build a relationship with them, and let them know what you want, because it's small business and it's good for them, and you're a small business, so it's good for you. And those who don't have it nearby, or you need it in a pinch, or you already have a relationship with those online distributors, then we always try and push our store, our brick and mortar store, first.
Yep.
Cool. Looks like we just shared the Australia website for Australia. Cool.
So, and I think just to wrap up on Golden Gate North's question about the coatings, he's just replying to you guys. So in other words, I have to wait about a year or so before using Legend. I think that was in regards to Soul being already on the vehicle.
You don't need to polish it off if you want. You don't have to wait.
Yeah, that'll polish off pretty easily.
Yeah. You can get, that's the good, better, best, right? Like Soul is not meant to be a permanent coating. It's better than Bead Maker, but not as good as Inspiration. So if you want to put it on there, then polish it and put Legend on. But that was a great show. We're very excited and happy everyone came on here today. I'm super excited to have these with me.
Yes. So exciting. They look so great, right?
Like the whole reason we wanted to do this show today is so we could talk about them.
Yes. Yep. So they'll be arriving everywhere by the end of the week. So we're super excited about that. And then thank you everybody for joining us. And remember, we will be making this a regular thing. We will be trying, I think we're every 2 weeks, every other Monday. So we appreciate everybody logging in early on this Monday morning, and we are excited for the week.
Everyone have a great week. Go out and kill it, and enjoy using PNS detailing products.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.